U.S. Army does not endorse or promote Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, but they do have a healthy interest in seeing that we are representing the U.S. Army, and it's in their interest to see that that's done in a good way.
The Future Force Warrior program was developed in response to looking at that next generation soldier. I mean, we understood that, the soldiers walking around in the battle space with other vehicles and aircraft that have great standoff, great range, great capability. What we wanted to be able to do was migrate that to the individual soldier. So, as I have kind of coined the term, create an F-16 on legs, giving the individual soldier the same type of technology and capabilities that aircraft and vehicles have. The development of the Future Force Warrior has actually been going on for a number of years. We have constantly been looking at inserting technology onto the dismounted soldier. The issue has always been weight and power. And in the last 5 to 6 years, we've seen a dramatic decrease in wearable computer weight, for example. The Future Force Warrior program actually started around 2003 with the end state of going to an advanced technology demonstration in 2007 and then starting to field the Future Force Warrior system to our Army by 2010. That soldier will be part of a digital network that will allow he or she to talk to every other soldier, platform, unmanned, or manned vehicle, whether it be on the ground or in the air, and exchange data back and forth. The soldier will be able to see in day and night, greater standoff with weapons capability, redesigned body armor load carriage system that gives a soldier a greater protection against enemy ammunition or threat inside the battle space.
The U.S. Army itself, with the Natick Soldier Center, interacts with us in an authenticity capacity. When we talk about the Future Force Warrior, they want to make sure that it is represented as correctly as possible. And when we do the integrated warfighter system, they want to give us some pointers and things like that to make sure that we're not going totally off in the wrong direction. Nowadays, there are a lot of different military games out there. And while other development studios, if they were, say, modeling an AT-4 anti-tank weapon, might find pictures off the internet or in books, or maybe work off a model like this for reference, here at Red Storm, we just have an actual AT-4 to work off of. Over the years, we've developed a number of relationships with military gear suppliers. These companies provide us with the real-life gear to work from for reference. When our character guys are working on the Serpa Blackhawk holster, they actually have that in their hands that they can look at, and they can get the colors off of, and they can see what the textures are like and feel it. They can put a Beretta M9 in it and see how it functions and everything like that, so that they're understanding of these things. They're not just looking at pictures off the internet to create this. They've actually got the real gear to work from.
In the Ghost Recon universe, not all the characters are going to have the advanced warfighter system. This gunner features the Safari Land holster, which we were able to use actual gear provided to us by the suppliers.
This is some of the stuff we're doing for the IWS system. These are some of the headgear that some of the soldiers have been wearing.
The integrated warfighter system is our in-game version of the Future Force Warrior. It was inspired by the real thing. We're able to adjust things slightly to make a better gameplay experience versus what might be real life, or we're able to extrapolate what we think might be the final version of this system. At the time that we made Ghost Recon 2, the Future Force Warrior program had not yet defined what the hand protection was going to be in terms of gloves. So we went ahead and chose the Blackhawk Hellstorm Fury gloves for our character to wear. We like these gloves because they've got this break and rake knuckle protection. They've also got a surface on the inside that really helps ensure a good grip on the weapon and everything. In a lot of movies and video games about modern soldiers, you'll see the basic battle dress uniform, or BDU. Well, the battle dress uniform for the Ghosts in Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter is a whole new animal. This thing is really designed down to every stitch to be exactly what the soldier needs in those high stress, high movement, high heat environments. It's very tight fitting and sort of formed to the soldier so that the Ghosts can move quickly. They don't have to worry about getting snagged on things in the environment and stuff like that. The shirt itself, which is the Cry Precision Combat shirt, has actual moisture wicking fabric that covers the torso of the soldier, and they have integrated elbow pads. The pants have integrated knee pads. They have a waist disposal zipper, and they also have zippers down each side, which means that if a soldier gets injured or something like that, they can very quickly access those injuries The Cry Precision Armor Chassis System is the main armor piece that you see on the Ghosts in the game. The armor plates actually don't sit right up against the soldier, they stand off a little bit. The advantages of this is that air can pass behind the plates, allowing for some passive cooling. It also means when those plates are impacted by things like fragmentation or bullet rounds, they actually have somewhere to move to other than into the soldier's body. For gameplay, the Cry Precision chassis allows the soldier a higher degree of survivability in the actual game, so you can take more damage on your character. The chassis system is configurable, not just in that you can add other armor plates, but you can also change the size of it. By moving some cinch straps, he can make it bigger or smaller to fit his actual body.
We're very lucky in that here at the Natick Soldier Center, we're responsible for the science and technology that goes into everything the soldier wears, carries, consumes, lives in, and lands to the ground safely under. We actually did the first load carriage study in the Army since roughly about 1943, and we found that our soldiers are wearing upwards of 120 pounds of external load. That's just gear. We have taken a conscious approach to really kind of strip the soldier down to skin and then build that soldier skin in and skin out, allowing the soldier to be lighter, more lethal, and more capable. I can't walk into an 18-year-old's room, whether that 18-year-old be a soldier or be a civilian, and not find an Xbox, a PlayStation 2, a computer, a PDA, a cell phone, a BlackBerry, for example. Well, those same individuals are our soldiers, so they are very not only excited but welcoming of the fact that we're inserting that technology and giving that capability to the individual soldier.
The whole system is also designed for comfort so that it feels good and it wears at the right places on the soldier's body, and also to distribute weight evenly. You can see that the soldier's pouches are now mounted directly onto the vest. There's no extra load carriage system that's going on top of it. Something else that Cry Precision incorporated into the chassis is something called the stock lock. And what this allows is for the soldier's weapon to actually have somewhere to rest, where they can set the stock of the weapon and not have to worry about it sliding off and things like that. A soldier is nothing without some footwear. The Integrated Warfighter System features the Oakley Elite SI Special Forces Assault Boot. This boot is actually currently in use by the U.S. Special Forces. It's got a special sole design and a special type of rubber that gives really good grip over a wide range of different surfaces. Artisan is the company that has been working with the Natick Soldier Center to develop the headwear or the helmet for the Future Force Warrior system. On one side of the helmet it's got a camera. This helps the cross-comm show those real-time images. On the other side it's got a laser designator for when you need to paint a target to be taken out with artillery, missile strikes, or whatever. It's got a ballistic shell which will take fragmentation and 9mm. And it also has a ballistic lens which will withstand fragmentation, which was developed in conjunction with Oakley. And that pops up and pops down as needed by the soldier. An additional feature of the Artisan helmet is that it actually has the antenna for the communication system woven into the shell, so the soldier does not have to have a separate antenna sticking up anywhere else off his body. The Integrated Warfighter System's cross-comm monocle is the blue thing you see over one eye on the actual soldiers in the game. This is implemented in the gameplay as far as the soldier's view in the upper left-hand corner in the little window where the player gets information. They also are able to see what their other soldiers on the field are seeing. That's through the camera mount on the side of the helmet. And they're able to give orders to those other soldiers or do things like call for help. If you're in a firefight, your team member can actually look and see, I'm getting shot from this direction, check out my cross-comm. They can see your view. You can give them a call for help and they'll get an icon on their screen that will tell them where you are so they can come track you down and come help you. You can order drones, you can order artillery strikes, and other friendly elements on the battlefield can be ordered and given things to do through this very simple interface. The great thing about this cross-comm is that it's happening in real time. You're actually getting information, you're giving orders, you're telling other battlefield elements to do things right then. It's not some pre-recorded experience. This is happening, it's under your command, and it's going on right then during the gameplay. You'll notice that the entire system is pretty much covered in a camouflage pattern called Multicam. Multicam was developed by Cry Precision in cooperation with the Natick Soldier Center. It gives really good overall general sort of blend-in abilities on both just the regular visual range and also in the infrared spectrum. What that means for gameplay is that the ghosts blend in better, they're harder to see, and therefore more difficult to kill and track. The main weapon used by the Ghosts in Ghost Recon 3 is the MRC, or Modular Rifle Caseless. The advantages of caseless are that the round does not have the big brass piece attached to it, which basically carries the propellant. The propellant is in a package right behind the projectile, and it all burns off as the projectile is fired out of the gun, so you have no shell casing shooting out the side. The Cry MRC has a 50-round magazine, and it fires 900 rounds per minute. The internal workings of the Cry MRC are designed to be dirt simple, so there are as few moving pieces as possible. The modularity of the rifle means that there can be many different versions of it. There'll be a version with a top-mounted gun camera so that the player can use it to look over structures and fire from behind cover. This MRC is equipped with a 40mm underbarrel grenade launcher. It's fired from a secondary trigger right here under the main trigger, and it fires these 40mm grenades. They load into the chamber and they can come in a variety of different configurations, from high explosive to anti-personnel. This was designed by Cry Precision as a mock-up. We've taken it to the real battlefield in Ghost Recon 3 so that people have a chance to actually use this weapon that has not yet actually had any combat experience. The relationship with the various military contacts is really fantastic. I mean, in the end, you are able to interact with people who are putting their lives on the line every day to protect you and I. They're fantastic people. They're always willing to help, and they have a great interest in seeing what they do and what they use to perform their duties represented as realistically as we possibly can within the constraints of time and technical constraints.
We are developing the Future Force Warrior for roughly the 2010 timeframe. That being said, we know that there are technologies that are going to mature faster, and we're going to try to put those in the field earlier. However, we're not going to rest on our laurels, and we're looking at that next generation. What we hope to see in that soldier system, is really what we see in science fiction movies and that we've read about in books. A self-encapsulated soldier, very streamlined, potentially one uniform system that does it all. Integration of nanotechnology, not only for camouflage, but also body armor capability. The mating of the exoskeleton that saw great popularity in the Aliens films is actually a program that's being pursued inside the Department of Defense now, so they don't have to be so concerned about load for the individual soldier. Not to mention I can move larger things around that I myself wouldn't be able to do with my own body. Advanced fuel cell technologies, for example, that give soldier a greater battery life in more of a traditional sense, as well as greater situational awareness. We want to be able to put radar that would normally be an aircraft at the individual soldier level so that that soldier can see in 360 degrees all the time. I make the analogy. The Future Force Warrior is the F-16 on legs. That being said, the next generation soldier, which we now call the Future Warrior concept, will be our F-117 stealth fighter.